Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. All right, folks, breaking news out of Chicago. Empire actor Jussie Smollett has been charged, first of all, indicted 16 felony counts by a Cook County grand jury. Again, those felony counts deal with reporting a false hate crime. Also, false report of offense, class 4 felonies. They say Jussie Smollett knew that at the time there was no reasonable ground for believing that such offenses had been committed, according to the indictment. Also, keep in mind that he also was lying to Chicago police when they kept doing the various interviews. Smollett has consistently said that he is innocent, that he did not actually make this up. Remember, this now just coming down out of Chicago, 16 felony counts against Jussie Smollett. I want to go right now to Scott Bolden, one of the attorneys here often on our show. Scott, first of all, from a legal standpoint, you keep saying I'm not guilty, I'm not guilty. Mm-hmm. 16 felony counts, it's a different conversation.
Well, it's an indictment, and it is serious, but he was indicted for literally every fact that he told the police that was a lie. As I said on the show a few weeks ago, you know, there's one thing you don't do with the Chicago Police Department, any police department. You don't run, but you don't lie, and if you get caught lying to them, all right, then they're going to bring the hammer. Now, watch for their lawyers to challenge these 16 counts, because it really is, they break it down, each bad act, and they indict him for disorderly conduct, felony class 4, for each act, each statement he makes. And I'm not so sure that's legal under Illinois law. If it's just one ongoing action of facts, then they may be able to bring it back down to 1 or 2 counts.
Fatima Gosgraves, President and CEO, National Women's Law Center. What you also have here is a black DA, a black female DA. Now, also happened in the past, folks like, oh, racist police department, white prosecutor. Kind of hard to do that when the superintendent of the police department is black and the DA is black.
I have a lot of respect for Kim Foxx, the DA in Chicago, but I do have a bit of a concern here with a rise in hate crimes. The speed in which you have seen action on Jussie Smollett has been dramatic when you compare to the typical response to hate crimes, to homophobia, to misogyny, to the sorts of things that are actually terrifying a lot of communities.
But don't you think this is different, though? I mean, look at what Jussie did. Jussie created this criminal narrative. He hired people. He lied to the police. He's a high-profile actor. This was covered nationally, internationally, and the police put a lot of resources on it for all of those reasons, right? And as it turns out, the people he hired flipped on him, and they used the same information against him that he was trying to use against them. I'd say the resources, I'd say the criminal intent, and I would say that Smollett and what he did to put all of us behind this kind of race and homophobia piece, the damage he did, is more than worth those indictments. The question is, can those indictments last?
Well, Fatima, here's the other deal. The reality is this here. If any case involving an actor, okay, this is a high-profile person. So this is not a traditional deal. So the level of attention the Chicago police put into it, also because you have the star.
There's a question about that, whether they should have put that level of attention, sort of celebrity coverage.
But here's the piece, though. Here's the piece, Joseph. Had they not done it,
it would have been a whole different conversation.
Whole different conversation. And so the reality is, people who are high profile, entertainers, sports figures, you're going to see a different type of law enforcement focus, especially where it took place. He lives on the Gold Coast, okay? This did not happen in Bronzeville. This did not happen on the West Side.
Right.
It happened in the Gold Coast. And look, I spent 6 years in Chicago. Joseph, they treat the Gold Coast a lot different, and it's called the Gold Coast for a reason.
Absolutely. It's called the Gold Coast for a reason. They get more resources, they get more attention. And furthermore, you're talking about Chicago Police Department that is operating in the wake of the Laquan McDonald scandal, that is operating in the wake of having a secret cabal where they would take criminal suspects and torture them, actually. So Chicago had to really go all out on this one, and it just so turned out that it was not the right case to do that, or perhaps it was, depending on your perspective.
Well, how soon in a different city? You should have done it in a different city.
How soon do you think we'll be hearing conversations about plea deal?
Well, I think he's got to be arraigned on these charges. I think it's going to be next week. There'll certainly be motions filed because of the way they charge this. By the way, Roland, I don't care whether you black, white, yellow, brown as a prosecutor. The argument that it's overcharged is one thing, but it certainly is an undercharge. But it doesn't matter who the prosecutor is.
Got it.
This was going to get done.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, calling all HBCU alumni, students, and leaders enter the Ford Motor Company HBCU Mobility Challenge and win $25,000 for your school. Building on their long-term support of HBCUs, Ford is looking to improve mobility in HBCU communities through innovative solutions. The winning program will receive a grant of up to $25,000 to implement the proposal. The deadline to apply is March 31st, 2019. Go to FGB.Life. That's FGB.Life for more info and to apply. Ford goes further in our community. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.